Dennis is already thinking about editing. He's like, that's good. That's the title of my clip. And we see Jan super passionate. We know how it works.
The reality is that you can fall behind so quickly today. Again, I'm going to relate back to the tools that I'm seeing, even for things like events. The number of tools has just exploded exponentially. You can run on Hopin, you can run on Run the World, Airmeet, all these tools are out there. Which one do you put your energy into learning and adapting? Because it's an issue of too much choice at a certain point that prevents you from potentially from either A, even looking into it, or B, making the right decision, that kind of paralysis of decision. Are you facing any of that on your end? And how do you differentiate between the tools and technology that you want to adapt or learn about more versus stuff that's, there might be value there, but not right now. I'll tackle that in the near future. How do you make those decisions on both your ends?
You frighten us a bit with that question, Dennis, because it's a good question. It's basically, what is your model that you use to decide on what kind of a technology you're jumping on, right? And that's a very tough question. So thank you, Timothy. Help us.
No pressure.
I think obviously there's no rules you can use, right? You want to be biased towards trying new things, towards experimenting and dropping them quickly if they're not being additive or bringing value. But I think that, as you're kind of alluding to, if we don't do that, if we don't have that bias, then within a short amount of time, you're going to be falling behind your competitors and either getting funding or not getting funding. So I don't know if that's a clear answer, but do it. And if it doesn't cause you to fail, then keep doing it. The tools will get better. There'll be better tools that will come out too. It's like getting exercise. And then when the race actually begins, you're ready for it.
Yeah, there's no answer, as you said. And I think the moreover that is that it's like a CRM. Like, too many people saw a CRM like technology, and CRM should be a strategy. So there is no perfect answer. But I think if you don't have a strategy behind it or clear goals, ask yourself some questions.
I love that. It's not a technology, it's a strategy. We can quote Jan on this one. He's like, that's it. My contribution to the show.
This is going to be a lovely, one of those motivational posters we can make a print of and maybe put it on a shirt.
No, Dennis is already thinking about editing. He's like, that's good. That's the title of my clip. And we see Jan super passionate. We know how it works. So, you know what? I'll propose something a bit more concrete. I think there is a starting point, because in the context of a lot of nonprofits, they cannot simply hire or train really, really quickly. Some organizations have a bit of more leeway. If they're, for example, project-based, they have a quick rotation of staff because that's kind of how they're structured. It's a bit more easy to say, hey, we should jump on this. We have 5 people who are finishing their mandate. So who should be the next 5? Do we renew or get some new talents? So that's cool. Now, if you're a nonprofit, you move at maybe different speeds. Some of them have budget for 5 years, and it's culturally very different. You don't just switch staff. And sometimes if you're overbooked, you cannot say, stop everything you do. I need you to jump on this training that will take you a month and that you still have to do all the work. So where I'm going with that, start with what you already have. And one thing I've seen often in organizations is that they assume to know what their employee and staff and volunteer base and endurance are passionate about. Because you only talk about some stuff, but maybe the person has some interest that you can nurture. Some people are very good at documentation. They have a nice kind of practical mindset for it. So when they learn about knowledge management tools, they might a bit more naturally gravitate towards. So it makes more sense to put a bit more time in training and investment, or maybe some of it they already did on their end. Some people I've seen, for example, in my own organization, I've discovered that one of the staff was pretty good at video editing. Actually did a whole undergrad in that. Oh, damn, true. Completely forgot. Because between the moment we hired that person and between the moment we had that discussion, I don't remember exactly the resume of everyone. So as a manager, assume that you don't exactly remember all the resumes of everyone in your team, and that maybe they added a few things that did not even put there in the first place, or they added since. So just have that discussion with the team and start with the base of what you have. Because it's true, there's a lot of tech. Doesn't mean you can jump, and you should not jump on all of them, but you can make a few if they already have an interest in that. And if you don't look at your internal team, you can make a few employees very unhappy because you're moving towards a direction that they're really not interested in.